What's up, guys? Rogue Budget here with Unashamed Gaming. Bringing you my Monday video today, and I'm not really sure how I want to go about this video. Um, Obviously, there's a gameplay for you guys to watch in the background. Pretty good one. But regardless, that's not what I want to talk about today. I'm sure wherever you are, for the most part, you have heard about the goings-on in Charlotte, North Carolina. Of course, North Carolina being where I'm from. With the protesting and the riots and just all that's surrounded that. And that's what's sparking this conversation I'm going to have in this video, but not necessarily what this video is going to be about. It's a sad time, it really is, to see people getting hurt needlessly. And I'm not going to take a side on this whole issue. I don't really even think there should be sides necessarily in this issue. I'm just going to throw some thoughts out there without giving my opinion, because my opinion isn't what matters. It's, I don't know. But in this world that we live in, that we are blessed to live in, we, like it or not, have free will, I believe. Free will to make the decisions that we want to make, do the things that we want to do. And that does not mean those decisions don't have consequences, because they do. Everything that you do has a consequence. It might be a good consequence, it might be a bad one. But everything that you do has a consequence in this world, so be aware of that. And to me, those consequences can extend beyond this world. They go to, all of eternity. They weigh against our very souls. I'm trying to word this how I want it to get it across, how I mean it. Those decisions that we make should be based in something. For me, every decision I make, everything that I do, I try to do for my relationship with God. I'm not going to say, I'll be the first to say I don't succeed in that. I'm selfish. I am angry. I am messed up just like everybody else. But I really strive to do things for God, to live my life for God. And that's, easier said than done a lot of the times. But regardless of whether or not you believe in God, everything you does have a consequence. And for me, those consequences are also centered around that relationship with God. Luckily, part of my belief in God and in Jesus is that those consequences for me are only going to be worldly, because I believe and I accepted the promise of Jesus that I am saved through his sacrifice. I'm not going to have to pay for my sins eternally like those do who are not saved by Jesus' sacrifice. And that's not really the direction I want to take this video in necessarily. I just wanted to put that in there. But this world we live in, back to the original thought train here. This world we live in, everything we do, everything that every one of us do has consequences, and most of those consequences affect people around us. And that's something I think people don't take into consideration a lot of time, is that everything you do is going to affect someone, and most of those things are going to affect other people. Whether it's your loved ones or people you don't even know. And we forget that a lot of the time. It's a very selfish world we live in. Everything you see on TV is catered towards, bigger, better for you. We're taught, be the best that you can be for you. Get ahead, make money, all this kind of stuff. And it's just all selfish and all self-centered. And I think that's where we get this idea of entitlement, I guess, comes through. And a lot of things that we're trying to say, a lot of things that we're trying to do get lost in translation because we don't realize that it's not all about us. Whether or not you believe in God, whether or not you believe in a higher power, it's not all about you either way. Everything you do, I'll say it again, mostly everything you do is going to have a consequence to somebody else. It's going to have an effect on somebody else other than just you. And that alone should be enough to make people want to look at things from a bigger perspective. And, the Bible teaches, this is where my own beliefs come in. The Bible teaches to love your neighbor, that the greatest commandment is love. Jesus was asked, what is the greatest commandment? And out of the entire law, out of the entire Bible, we are left with one greatest commandment. He says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. And the second greatest commandment, love your neighbor as yourself. And that is, he could have said anything, but he said love. And to me, a picture of love is looking at your neighbor. Now, I'm not talking your neighbor next door. I'm not talking your friends. I'm not talking your family. Yes, they are included. Every single person that lives on this earth is your neighbor. We are all human beings. We are all connected in this thing we call life, and that makes us neighbors. And when you cannot, it is impossible, I will say, to love your neighbor without considering their viewpoints, without looking at it from their perspective and trying to understand more about them. If you are in any sort of confrontation or engagement or conversation with another person and you are not trying to understand things from their perspective just as much as you are your perspective, then you are not truly loving them with all you've got. Now, you don't have to agree with them. It's perfectly okay to disagree with somebody. You have a basic human right to your own mindset, your own thought process. But when you disregard that person's thought processes as lesser than yours, you are not loving them with the extent that Jesus called us to love, that we are called to love by the Bible. And I think that basically every human deserves to be loved, whether or not you believe in Christianity, whether or not you believe in God. Everybody deserves equality. And again, I am not centering this around the events in Charlotte. I'm not centering this around race. I'm not centering this around, sexuality, anything. This is just this situation in Charlotte is what spurred me to have this thought process in my head. That's it. And I know it's been kind of jumbled and back and forth, and this video is drawing to an end, but as humans, we are all on the same playing field. We are all equal, and we should treat each other with that mindset. We should treat each other with equal respect for others as we have for ourselves. And until we can truly do that, we will not see a change in the way this world is. We will not see things get any better. And that, again, that goes for Christians and non-Christians alike. Whether or not you believe in the Bible, whether or not you believe in God or the teachings of Jesus, I don't understand how somebody could argue that we don't have equality amongst our fellow humans, and that we shouldn't treat everybody fairly. To me, that seems like a pointless argument. So that's my thought for today, guys, is that until we love others as we love ourselves truly, we won't see any change in this world. And that's just good advice. That's not even, that is scripture, that is in the Bible, but to me, it's also just good advice. So take that for what you will. Share your thoughts down below. Give me some conversation. I'd love to know what you think. And again, I'm not trying to force my opinions on anybody. This is just my thought process for the day. So thank you guys. We'll see you next time. God bless.